All right. Here we are, Mastermind. We have 5 minutes to um, discuss something that came up earlier today was um, the abbreviations or the classifications of what are the definitions of like a CFO, a CEO, COO, a CMO, and a CTO. And I only know those because I looked them up. But there was something that triggered the thought of really wanting to understand more about, those positions, those roles of a company to support each moving piece of the business. So the chief financial officer was the one that I started looking at and understanding more about, like looking at like what are the roles that they play, what are the responsibilities that they have, and like a CEO. Those are the two like major ones that I was looking at, because I am the CEO of the virtual co-working space Work on Purpose with Purpose. I was looking at, okay, well, what does it mean to actually hold these positions and the responsibility and the level of commitment that it takes for each one? So Kelly, you and I were discussing, how that could be really beneficial to take a closer look at and to really be able to looking for those roles or how they can support your businesses as a whole to gain support in certain areas. So what are your thoughts around those, Kel?
What is a COO and a CTO?
So a COO is Chief Operating Officer. A CTO is Chief Technology Officer. And then the fifth one is the CMO, which is Chief Marketing Officer. So those were the 5 that I found when I Googled about a CFO, that those were the other, that what's the hierarchy of, each one of these positions was really the discussion that I found when I Googled it. So.
Yeah. Well, like when you were talking about it, I was thinking, well, I call myself the CEO. But what does that really even mean? So that's like made me want to go and look up what are the common duties of a CEO, a CFO, whatever, and figure out who does these things in our business. And if no one does, then who can? Right? Is it me? Is it Terry? Is it our VA? Is it someone else that we need to look into hiring? Like who needs to do these jobs so that our business can actually run as a business? And when you said CFO, I was like, I don't think we got anybody being CFO. And that's probably a big reason why, where you put your intention, it grows, right? So, and then like these marketing, operations, tech, like I would say I'm all of those things, and I can't wear all the hats in a business and for it to grow. Like I need to get other people in these places. So I'm only doing one job.
Yeah, because when we do that, right, that's how, like looking, and I'm sure these are like, these official titles, that's what you see in like big organizations. And, when we look at what our dream, our vision for our small businesses are, thinking that bigger picture to know, like you said, if there isn't anyone there, when is it going to be the right time to hire someone on, looking, future focused in how the growth you're projecting it to be, what you desire it to be, and how can you take actions, to make a plan to take the actions for, making that a reality in a really smart, savvy business way, is just one of those conversations that I've never really thought about in thinking about a bigger company like role and putting on that hat and really understanding what is the commitment level, and understanding that we're not supposed to be doing it all. Yes, doing them as much as we can to get started, and to fully understand, like, when we do pass it to someone, what is the responsibility that we're actually asking someone else to do, so that it is clear and it's understood.
Yeah, I mean, even when we got our VA, it was like figuring out what was she gonna do? What was she gonna take off my plate? And what was I willing to let her take off my plate? Because
Mhm.
when it came down to some things, I was like, no, I like doing that. Or no, I don't trust you to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Or it's like, no, that has to be like my words, not somebody else, trying to think this is what I would say or whatever, right?
Yeah,
So
building authenticity in it is really what I think of, right? Like, knowing that it's still your brand and who you are, and what are those pieces and those tasks that you can outsource, that it still feels really authentic to your company.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's making sure that all the people on your team, including yourself, right? Understands your why, understands your brand, understands what you're really, why it is that you're doing what you're doing. Why is there a business?
Mhm. Yeah. From this conversation, I'm literally like, these are things that, I personally and professionally, like, looking at these things is going to be really helpful to understand these roles. So I'm happy that I, stumbled on it on purpose to start looking up, like, CFO. It's one of those things that I've been hearing more about. And as the CEO, I'm like, I need to understand what my role is and where I want it to continue to be in the future, versus, like you said, where we want to step away from and be fully committed to in helping grow to the level that we're working towards. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to learn more about these, even just from the discussion. You're like, we need to talk about that more. So thanks for pinpointing that, Cal.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Well, we're at lunch break.